Welcome to another week of Kona Kids Podcast. We're glad you're here.
Yay!
Keep in mind, your picture is unique and special in its own way. When we say marker, you could be using a pencil or crayons or an iPad. You get to follow along and create your own drawing next to us. We hope you'll share your drawing with us by sending it to Kona Kids. There's information in the episode description for how to send it to us. We would love to see what you create. Let's see what Andee has in store for us today.
Hello, Kona Kids. And this episode of the Kona Kids podcast, we are going to listen to a story about daydreaming. I wonder if anybody out there sometimes daydreams in class rather than focusing on the lesson your teacher might be teaching. So sit back, relax. We are going to listen to a story written by Andee and then follow it up with an activity on the worksheet, which your adults can find on our website, and the information for that is in the episode description. This story is called Daydreaming, written and read by Andee Dale. Roberta is a grade 4 student in elementary school. She has a very creative mind and always finds herself daydreaming when her teacher is talking. Roberta finds some parts of her day to be very interesting, but other parts of her day she finds boring. Roberta sits next to her friends, and they like to talk about all the things of their interests. They often find themselves doing this until they get interrupted by their teacher telling them things they need to do, or asking them to focus. One day, Roberta was playing with her friends at recess when her teacher asked her to come inside for a meeting. She said, "Sure." She turned to her friends and asked them to wait for her while she's inside. "Roberta, I bet you're wondering why I called you in here today," she asked. Roberta was very confused and was looking outside to see where her friends were, to see if they were pausing the game or not. She kept glancing from her teacher to her friends on the playground. "Roberta, can I have your full attention?" her teacher kindly said. No, thought Roberta. There's so much time, and she desperately wants to get back outside to play. Roberta faced her teacher and said, "Yes," but she did not fully mean it. "Roberta, I called you in for a few minutes because I noticed that you seem to be really distracted in class, and I wanted to support you to be able to focus on the lessons that you're getting, all the information that you need to get in school," she said. "Yeah, I'm fine," said Roberta without really caring too much about what her teacher was saying. She hears this a lot, people telling Roberta to pay attention. "Well, I was wondering if we could come up with some ideas of how you could focus better in class," she asked, looking at Roberta like she would have the magic answer. "I'm not sure," said Roberta, feeling a little anxious, so was trying really hard to focus on the topic, but also desperately wanted to get outside so she could play. "I wonder if we could try a series of experiments over the next little while," she asked. "Yeah, that sounds great," said Roberta, taking a quick peek outside to see if her friends were still waiting. "Okay, I see you want to get back outside to finish recess with your friends." Roberta starts to stand up. "Oh, wait, just a second. The first thing I want to try is moving your desk to the front row." "Oh," Roberta said. She wasn't sure she would like that, but wanted to get back outside, so didn't want to talk anymore. "Sure," she said, trying to rush the conversation on. Over the next few days, Roberta's teacher tried many different things, but eventually, Roberta would start to daydream about the game they were about to play outside or stories she created in her own mind. Roberta's teacher called her parents that night and told them that Roberta is not paying attention in class and wondered if they could all come in for a meeting. Roberta instantly felt upset and angry, embarrassed. She did not want to go in for a meeting with her parents. She felt a lot of shame that she should have just been doing things differently, or she should have just listened to her teacher the other day when she told her to pay attention more. A few days later, Roberta and her parents went into the school before school one day to meet with her teacher and the resource teacher. Roberta was very nervous about this meeting. She was thinking that everyone was going to be upset with her for not paying attention. "Roberta, thank you for coming in today to meet with us. This must feel strange, having so many adults with you here right now," her teacher said. Roberta nodded her head. Things did feel strange. "Roberta, you and I met a few weeks ago at recess, and we talked a little bit about how you seem to be having a difficult time focusing. We've tried a few things in the classroom, but I was wondering if we came together as a team and tried to support you better in class, she explained. Okay, said Roberta, who was feeling her face go red as everybody looked at her. You're not in trouble, my mom said to me. I looked up at her, and she was smiling. You're okay, her mom said. Roberta, I thought we could start the meeting talking about how incredible your brain is, the resource teacher said. What? Thought Roberta. All these adults are here to tell me my brain is incredible? You are one of the most creative people I have ever met, her teacher said, smiling at her. I always wonder what story you're coming up with when you're thinking of something else during class, she said. Really? Thought Roberta. Here's what we're thinking we could start doing with you to help you learn the way your brain needs to learn, the resource teacher said. One thing your teacher notices is that when you're in a smaller group, you have an easier time learning the information. When you've had a chance to move your body around, like after recess and gym, she notices that your brain is really focused. Your teacher has also noticed that you often stand when you're writing things down, she explained. She also noticed that you like to touch things with your hands when you're trying to listen. How cool is it that we know some of the ways that we can support your brain's learning, she said. Roberta didn't realize she did all those things, or that her focus changed with what she was doing. So we thought we could try a few other things in the next little while to see if we could optimize your brain's learning and focus power, her teacher said. We want to start with a morning run with the resource teacher, she said. So each morning after the bell goes, there is a group of students that really focus well after their brains have been outside, breathing fresh air and running around, she said. Roberta liked the sound of that. Missing boring old class to go running? Okay, she said eagerly. So you can meet the group outside the resource room with running shoes on every morning, she explained. The next thing we're going to try is putting your desk near the shelf on the side of the room. That way, when you're needing to stand, you can stand and use the shelf as your desk, so you don't have to bend over the desk anymore. Whenever you need to stand, you can do that. We're really hoping that you can learn to pick up on your body's cues so that when you can learn and do what you need to do to help your own body. Okay, said Roberta. The last thing we are going to try for now is that when I'm doing teaching on the board, I want you to knit, she said. Knit? Roberta repeated, having no idea what knitting was. We are going to learn to knit as a class tomorrow. And anyone in the class who needs something in their hands to focus on while I'm talking or explaining something, we will knit while listening, she said. We're wondering if your brain needs more to do, not less, when you're trying to learn something. Roberta was kind of excited to try all these new things. Over the next few weeks, Roberta started to really love the morning run. She found afterwards she was much more focused in class and didn't have any wiggly legs. And she was learning a ton. Whenever her body needed to move, she just stood up or did some knitting. She wasn't daydreaming almost at all anymore. Ramona noticed that she was starting to feel more confident in listening to what her body needed. And the more she thought that she wasn't in trouble and that all these adults were here to support her, the more she felt that she could advocate for herself and say what she was needing. She started to really like school and got excited about going to class rather than just looking forward to what was happening at recess. Overall, Roberta was working really hard with her teacher to figure out the best way for her brain to learn. And you know what? That's okay, because every brain learns differently. We just need to find the way each person's brain learns. The end. Okay, Kona kids, for this week, the activity, we are going to do a worksheet. You can find this on our website. You can have a grown-up look at the episode description and look at the worksheet if you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little bit of what Roberta's teacher and resource teacher and parents did, is try and figure out the best way your brain learns. So some people need movement, some people need relaxation, some people need small groups, big groups. They need to sit in the front of the room, they need to sit in the back of the room, they need to have a fidget in their hand. What is the best way for your brain to learn? So we're going to fill out that worksheet, and that's something that you can share with your teacher or your parents to kind of best work with your brain and your brain's learning style. And that's it for today, Kona Kids. See you next time.
This podcast is created in Canada by Kona Kids. Your host is Andee Dale, a registered clinical counselor. Please remember this is for entertainment and educational purposes and not clinical advice. Thanks for listening. I hope you tune in next week.